Hello all, welcome in to a New Year's Eve intentionally designed perfect day for third chakra intentional meditation. I decided not to go live with this one, but pre-record it, and I'll drop it here on Instagram and on my YouTube page for you all to enjoy on your own time. Intentional meditation is great for every single day, but especially rich on the last day of a year coming to a close and with the brink of a new one upon us. Every day you have an opportunity to create your desired experience. So join me in this meditation that will start with a little bit of mindful movement to activate Manipura, the third chakra. And then we'll take a moment to really drop in to the spirit of intentional living, being able to focus on yourself, your goals, your deepest desires, and feel the spirit of your soul call your attention. Now, these opportunities exist and become powerful and awakened when we decide to go inward of ourselves. So even though we have the power of our sensorial connection to the world around us every day, to create desired experiences, possibilities, purpose, fulfillment, meaning, and joy, the source really is always here within us. So wherever you're landing at this moment in time, you're here for a reason. Turn off the TV, get into the space of you. To activate Manipura chakra, we're going to begin with some movement that's just going to bring that energy upward into the body. So we'll start with some heel raises. And if you've ever joined me for movement before, you know that this is going to get us right into our chakras. And sometimes we just need to shake things off to get to that space of stillness a little bit faster and with a little bit more power. So I'm just going to start with these heel raises that are eventually going to turn into some more organic, spirited movement. So maybe you just start shaking things off your own way, whatever that looks like for you. Could be just lifting the heels up and down one at a time or together. You might even start lifting your toes off the ground and jumping around. Could go into some jacks, shake the hips, dance it out, do a little bit of this, see what your body's into. We're gonna move around for about 10 more seconds, just shaking off this year, shaking it all off, letting go of the residue, letting go of the layers once and for all, clearing space. Here it is, stand still, at attention. So arms are to your sides, close your eyes, turn your palms to face out, feel your feet rooting you back into the earth. Feel that energy coursing through your body as we bring in the spirit of prana, life force with the breath. And then bring your hand to heart and one hand to belly and feel that connection to third and fourth chakra. Take some nice deep breaths, whatever these breaths are for you, through the nose, through the mouth, slowing yourself down a little bit. And then bringing both hands on your belly, we're just gonna start to do some belly taps. So gentle fists and moving around in the same direction as digestion. So working down on the left, up on the right. It's gonna look a little different with the reflection of camera, but for you, look down at your belly here and just make sure that you're moving down on the left, up on the right, clockwise. You can even kind of just move around in a circular position. You can use flat palms, just kind of stoking this Manipura energy, the Agni, the fire energy. This is principle of transformation, right? Changing into a whole new form of matter, shape, ideas, thought process, right? Think about a butterfly starting off in a cocoon and then it's transformed into a butterfly, right? That's different than just change by itself. And tap it out a little bit more. Then bring your hands to your hips and just start to find some hip circles or torso circles like you're using a hula hoop here, around clockwise, counterclockwise a few times. And to really get into Manipura, 6 movements of the spine is one of the best ways to get there. So if you only had a few seconds in your day, start by inhaling, reaching up into high mountain, Urdhva Hastasana. Palms come together or reaching for wrist or forearms or elbows, and then just start to take some nice lateral movement side to side. Left and right, right and left. And then you can even move this into some corkscrews, clockwise, counterclockwise. Just The idea is that we're moving our spine in 6 different degrees of variation of movement. So that means left and right, lateral, flexion and extension, which we'll get to in a moment, and some rotation, which we're kind of already doing with the spiral movements. So coming back to lateral, inhale, reach up high. Exhale, let's start to find rotation. So one arm forward, one arm back as you twist and rotate. And then just take turns moving through this side to side. If you want to add in a little bit more dynamic power movement, you can come through chair pulls to mountain pulls as you take your rotations and twists. You can stay in a chair pose as you work through twists. You can even come into a prayer twist, hands through heart, hook elbow outside thigh. Stay on one side for a few breaths, and then come through the other side for a few breaths. So really this is just an invitation to open up Manipura chakra before we get into our stillness of meditation. So last little bit here is flexion and extension. Inhale, reach up high, mountain. Exhale into forward fold. And then just do that a few more times. Inhale, rising up. You don't even have to come into like a big back bend, just even rising up. And then finding a nice deep forward fold. You get to play with the natural flexion and extension of the spine. Upright movement, back bending, forward folding. All right. Now let's take a moment to sit still. Find a comfortable space. You can sit on the floor, you can sit on a chair, and just take a moment to settle in and notice. Always like for us to adapt to the environment that we're in rather than trying to get the environment to adapt to us, right? It's a lot harder for us to think about distractions coming from out there to in here. We can control how we respond in here to out there. So eyes closed if that's comfortable for you, or you can find a focal gaze. I like lighting a candle and staring into the candle sometimes. And just settling in. Maybe as you're winding down and you're feeling your body kind of pull in, you might find those Manipura movements again. So you could take some lateral movements in your seated form. And you can take some twists. And you can also do some gentle seated cat-cows or little flexion extension movement here. And then finding the stillness within. If it's helpful, bring your hands to your belly. You can even come back to those circles once again. And to really get us into third chakra, Manipura, start to embody the color of yellow. Maybe you notice it in your mind's eye, or if your eyes are open, you're looking around the room and you're spotting all the color of yellow around you. And remember that there's always going to be smells and sounds and tastes that are going to distract you, and you'll just bring your breath back in to refocus you and your hand to your belly to refocus you. So thinking about the color of yellow and starting to visualize it into a spinning wheel or disc. Chakra means wheel or disc, and it's always interesting to translate from Sanskrit to English. And even as I say it, there's a learning there, there's a vibration there of how it comes out of your body. Chakra, Manipura. Formulating this beautiful color of yellow into a ball, into a spinning wheel or disc. There's no wrong or right here as you start to visualize this shape that's starting to take form. It might be beautiful circle or kind of an amoeba or oval shape, and the color might be bright or dim, shining brightly. Just noticing the variations, and it could change. And if you're having a hard time even accessing the color of yellow, that's okay. You can just in your mind's eye know color of yellow. And we'll tap into the energy of fire here, the element of fire, which is transformation. So you might even start to visualize fire in your mind's eye. And the gunas, the personality, the energy of fire, being hot. There's a sourness to it. There's a spiciness to it. There's a wetness to it. There's a dryness to it. And we get to burn away what's once been a service to us and is no longer of service. We burn that away. So releasing that energy, open your palms. The balance of the giving energy on the right side and the receiving energy on the left. Offer the invitation to release what no longer serves through both hands. Just putting it out there to the universe, trusting the universe, saying thank you for all of the service, for all the abundance, for all that I already have, and for that which will remain of service, and to that which was of service but is no longer needed. I thank you. And it's okay to let it go. Is this going to be a narrative? The critical mind, things that you've been telling yourself that are no longer true? Is this you letting go of any obstacles, whether you are your own or someone else or something else? The idea that no can become a yes and yes can be a no. Can you soften any rigid lines? What are you telling yourself that you're making your truth but really isn't your truth? So this is where I encourage you, and why I didn't want to go live today with this one, to maybe press pause here and allow there to be a little bit more silence of observance of things that are coming up for you. Who am I? What do I want? What is my purpose? Give yourself some time and space to truly surrender and release. If it's journaling, if it's talking out loud to yourself, if it's going through the turning of the mind and then coming back, hand on your belly, coming back to the color of yellow, coming back to the energy of fire again and again and again. Learning, sadhyaya, self-study, tapas, discipline. Coming back to this space. When you feel like you've really gotten clear on what you want to release, then that's the opportunity to replace. And not that you have to fill up that space right away, but what do you want to create? What do you envision for this next year ahead, or this next day ahead? Or maybe if you tap back into this meditation a little later in the year, how has it been going so far? Check in. Manipura, this is our intentional space. You make a choice and the path is revealed. That is the idea of living with intention, living with purpose, with meaning and fulfillment. You're not just sort of wandering around in life without a connection to it, without a connection to yourself. So you make the choice. This is what I envision. This is what I want to create. This is what I want to be a part of. This is what I want to make true for myself. You start working internally. Okay, whatever you want to see in the world out there, you have to see it in yourself first. So again, this might be the opportunity where you pause again and you do some reflection. What do I want to create? What is my deepest desire? This is the time, this is the source right here at the seat of your soul. And the obstacle here is being able to move beyond the ego mind, beyond this survival-based primitive thinking that has kept us from really reaching our highest potential, and sometimes keeping us safe, yes, teaching us survivor skills, basic needs being met every day. But a lot of times we fall into that and it becomes that blanket, that shield that no longer serves. So you release, you peel that layer, you remove that residue. You become a little more raw as you step into your authenticity. Let's move into some breath work that can help you here. As a reminder, you have the idea of bringing hand to belly, thinking about the color of yellow moving into a spinning wheel or disc. Start to pull breath deep down into your belly and feel the expansion of your belly as you're filling it all the way up. Think about this as upside down breath. You're going to work and you're going to practice to bring your breath down to your belly first. Feel that expansion and then fill up into your chest. And then let it spill out of your body through your nose, through your mouth. Let's try that together. Hands on your belly, breathing in, upside down into the belly first. Down, down, down. Don't worry if you're not mastering this right away. It's a different way of thinking about breathing. Then you fill into your chest and lungs. And then you lift it out of the body. Expansion of the belly as you breathe down deep into the belly. Massaging the muscles, cleansing and purifying digestive system, immune system. We're getting into our second gut here, our second brain rather, living in our gut. There's a huge connection to your gut and your brain connecting into intention, connecting into yourself. And this is where you enrich your goals, your deepest desires, your true self, honoring yourself, loving yourself, being kind to yourself, being courageous with yourself, rather than critical, rather than pushing yourself down, rather than shaming yourself. So again, if you need to press pause at any time and just reflect or digest this information. As we recap, we created a little bit of movement to get us into focusing on third chakra.